Man, I'm breathing so hard. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this is consistently steep. It's obviously cold outside, as you can tell by the snow on the ground. It's wet. It's gorgeous. Seems like every 2 minutes, my Garmin watch goes off. Tells me I hit my daily goal for stairs. Probably gonna hit that shit like 100 times today. Good. Whew. Isn't this nice? Oh my goodness. There's stream down there. My Munson Creek Falls video. I didn't talk. I'm going to be talking a little bit today. Probably a lot. Might be rambling the whole time, so stay tuned. Right now, I weigh about 300 pounds. I'm 6'1", and I'm out of shape. Well, I work all day on a flat ground in a factory. So I go up and down catwalk stairs every now and then, but nothing consistent like this. I started out feeling kind of cold. Now I don't feel cold at all. It's pretty nice. There's a couple of reasons I started this venture of Dranger Mike, right? What is Dranger? Who's Mike? Historically, the term Dranger would be used somewhat as a compliment for someone who is formidable and honorable. Think of someone like Abe Lincoln, or what's his name? William Wallace. So this Dranger person can play a game, let's say, and he's such a badass that he's honest about it, or she, and doesn't break the rules, yet still wins, possibly against someone who is breaking rules. Now, I feel like I've come close to getting the honesty part down. Now I need to develop myself into something that can win consistently. So, in modern times, the term dranger or dreng in Norway means something like the boy or that boy, something like that. So it doesn't hold the same meaning as it used to in in Old Norse, probably Western Old Norse specifically. That being said, I'm a playful character. So the term works either way. Whether I be the honorable man or the boy. We all have a child inside of us that we need to nurture. And let that side of you feel wonder and curiosity and things like that. And what better way than to get out in nature and challenge yourself. Now, if you want to be playful and challenge yourself, you want that challenge to also entail some fun. Now, this doesn't have to mean hiking. This doesn't have to mean lifting weights, although lifting weights is very beneficial for everybody. This could mean learning a new skill, learning how to make something. One of my hobbies is blacksmithing. Another one is jewelry making. I tried my hand at woodworking a few times. And there's something to be said for creating beauty with your hands. Now, in blacksmithing, some of the best blacksmiths are the ones that try their darndest to replicate nature. You'll see old iron gates in England, Switzerland, Norway, pretty much any country with a lot of history, Italy, especially Spain. And those iron gates are decorated with leaves and berries and floral patterns, swooping curves, a lot of use of the Fibonacci sequence. That is the spiral that you might see on certain seashells, sea snails maybe, that's the better term. It's like a ratio of expansion for numbers. This imitation of nature in your own creation is a huge challenge, because it takes a lot to even come close to replicating the beauty and fractalness of nature. This tree, for example, the bark, the texture, you could probably represent it in blacksmithing with certain texture hammers and things like that. The moss you could probably stimulate to grow, but when you look really, really close at it, there's no way that you're gonna replicate that with basic tools and basic skills. Something like that needs lifetimes of advancement. And that's where that improvement comes in. Thought I heard somebody. How yoo-hoo! Okay. Well, I'll be recording, so if I get murdered by a bear or a mountain lion, hopefully you'll get to see it. Hopefully the camera stops the recording and secures it on the memory card before it's destroyed by the weather. That will be a pretty cool video. So just in case something like that, I brought my regular hunting knife or whatever. This is Gordon brand. It's a buck style hunting knife. Aluminum guard and aluminum pommel. Simple stainless steel blade. It's quite sharp though out of the box, surprisingly. Very nice. So I might be able to fight back if I get to it in time. I'm not betting on it, but we'll see. Or we won't. Hopefully we don't. But anyway, I just wanted to address that. Sometimes I'll stop because I hear something. And being from where I'm from, if you're in a place you think you're alone and you hear something, probably good to just pause and listen. Now, back to drink, Mike. Why am I doing this? Who am I? Who am I is a question to be answered, I guess. I've yet to find that out. Oh, look at this. We've got tree carvings. Oh, look. This isn't me, but Michael is there. Looks like we have some binderoons, maybe? More letters. LUD, whatever this means. Whatever this means. Perhaps I would contribute to this at some time. But I don't think I should. Not this tree. This tree has seen enough. Enough people poking and prodding at it. We all need a break. This doesn't exclude trees. So, I started all this. I bought a camera. I bought a GoPro Hero 11 on credit. And I wanted to start making content that would help someone like me. You know, I work 11 or more hours a day, and then I come home, I go to sleep, and then I wake up and do it again. Sometimes this would go on for months. Not really doing anything on my time off. Taking advantage of opportunities to explore this beautiful state of Oregon. I live so close. This hiking starting point is 30 minutes away. There's another one about 5 minutes. Another one about 10 minutes. Another one about 15 minutes away from my house. So, it would be kind of a shame if I continued to ignore those opportunities for exploration. And working the type of job I do, I tend to eat a lot, which seems like a hard job would cancel it out, but it doesn't completely. So I started putting on weight again, as one does. Luckily, I'm somewhat of an endomorph, so I do have a relatively high muscle mass. So I tend to wear it well enough that people around me don't correct me about it when perhaps I could benefit from that. I put on muscle easy. I put on fat easy. So I needed to get out more. Now, getting out is good for you. Dr. Andrew Huberman says that getting direct sunlight in your eyes and on your skin can help a lot with your overall health and well-being. First, with vitamin D, with sleep. You see, in every one of your cells, he says, there is like a little clock. And that clock is in all of the cells. And if you don't have a regular sleep and wake cycle, a regular viewing of sunlight in the morning, those clocks don't necessarily get set and synchronized as well as they should. This can lead to fatigue, poor sleep quality, certain vitamin deficiencies from the body, redlining it, trying to keep up with the excess demand and minimal support that the sunlight would have given you. So I decided I need to get out and do that, enjoy that, take advantage of it. I needed to improve my body fat composition and my cardiovascular endurance, my muscular endurance, bone density, all of these things, as I am soon approaching 30. Gosh, you see all these ferns are kind of flattened out from having the snow on them. Probably a few weeks from now, they'll perk all up. They get a little bit more sun and warmer weather. So, if I'm going to be going outdoors, going on all these adventures, and exploring the area, perhaps I can share it. Share the journeys, share the ideas, share the lessons that I'm learning with other people who might benefit from them, just like I needed to. So, I just had a quick frame change there, pause, new clip, but no real time has passed. I just needed to start the recording again so that my GoPro doesn't separate one video into two files, because it tends to do that. Right now, I believe I'm recording in 2.7K, 60 frames per second. linear plus horizon lock. Those are my settings. The camera is mounted on my chest. Now, look at that. Now, what could be the reason for filming in POV most of the time? Well, I'm not the prettiest guy. Sometimes, if you're gonna watch a video that's 2 hours long with a weirdo whispering in it in the woods to himself, you at least want the visuals to look like it's your adventure. So, that's why. Some snow just fell on me. Kind of nice. If there were to be a specific lesson or idea, purpose that I would want anyone to get from this video, is to, no matter where you are, no matter what your life is currently like, what it seems like you're limited to, there's a chance, a pretty big chance, that involves some work, that if you take advantage of an opportunity nearby for enjoyment, improvement, or just entertainment, take that chance. We don't all have the same amount of time on this beautiful earth. And it would be a shame for anyone to not get their time's worth of adventure. The bang for your buck. Now, that doesn't mean that everything's going to be safe, or that it's going to be easy, or that you're even going to make it out alive. But you might be able to make something better of something that seems worse. Kind of want to cut this. I haven't sharpened this knife yet. That was right out of the box. And look at that. Wipe it on my leg real quick. It did pretty well. I'm surprised, actually. It's not very heavy, so it doesn't quite hack well. But as you see, it's able to do some work. Especially on smaller branches. So I'm noticing, obviously, that the higher I get, the harder it is to breathe, and the more snow there is on the ground. Sunset is soon approaching. It's going to be overcast this evening. So there's a very real possibility that I will be sprinting down this trail, figuratively speaking, to get home to my car, or, back at the trailhead to my car, before it gets too dark. Because there's a part of me that doesn't mind dealing with a megafauna predator like a cougar or a bear when I can see. Especially if I can see it from far off. But if I can't see it, I see footprints. That's a good sign that there's frequent enough travel on this trail such that bears might avoid it. Cougars might stalk it though. Anyway. So we have a section here of this trail. Let's go see it. That's flooded. And I'm starting to see more little burrows and whatnot, which could mean bigger hunting type animals, predators, maybe around occasionally to hunt here. I don't know. That's not too deep. I guess I can just follow around this. Oh, that's kind of deep. That's cold. Oh. Make a little trail there. There we go. Anyway. But I haven't seen any big footprints of animals yet. Perhaps I will, perhaps I won't, but whatever. A lot of people come up to this area to hunt, actually, for elk and bear and stuff, so. Or at least to check out other areas nearby. Oh, look at this. I could imagine a bunch of ewoks in this forest setting booby traps. There was a stream down there. Okay, what time is it? I started around 3:20. It's 3:55. So, this wasn't super long yet. I'll make sure to turn back before 5. And I'm hoping that I can get up to the peak. But I might not be able to. I'm not a very experienced hiker. Nor do I have time on my side. It rains here a lot. So that's another factor. It's not cold enough that I can see my breath. That's good. Perhaps it's humid, and that might make it cancel out, but it's chilly. If I do get stuck out here overnight, I am 100% going to record it, though. I can feel my heartbeat in my spine. I hope the lighting is good enough. I'm sure the snow helps with a lot of light diffusion. There's not a whole lot of light left. Oop, almost tripped. Now, there are some people who are stuck in terrible situations that they can't necessarily improve for themselves. Now, this doesn't mean complete powerlessness, because everybody ultimately has choices to make. Unfortunately, sometimes that choice is to either submit or die. Nobody wants to choose death. It's starting to rain. I need to hurry up and get out of here. So this is as far as we'll go, and we can talk on the way down. Wipe the lens here. Make sure we're good. Sorry about rubbing on the microphone like that. You hear that picking up? Probably hear it hitting the camera. The thing about this area, these mountains, the state of Oregon, especially the Pacific Northwest where I'm at, it rains a lot here. So finding opportunities for hiking in high altitude areas can be somewhat limited to the summer and spring months. Now, I'm actually kind of grateful because getting high enough up to this point, I've gotten pretty hot and sweaty. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt and some jeans, and there's snow around me, so I was chilly at first, but then, like it does, my body made the adjustment according with my movement and heated me up quite a bit. And I'm a fat guy, so the heat kind of stays in like a potato. So this little bit of rain, walking downhill, easier to breathe, it's nicer, it cools me off. My only worry is this camera, because this is GoPro Hero 11 Creator Edition. And it has one of those shotgun mics on it with the big foam thingy to block wind sounds or whatever. But since this media mod that's over the GoPro, I have to take the side panel off that protects the battery and keeps the unit somewhat waterproof, at least water resistant. I lose some water resistance with this mod, but gain better audio and a couple of other pass-through charging options and things like that. So I'm gonna let this camera get a little bit wet because I don't think it's gonna ruin it completely, but I just have to make sure, as it's speeding up now, that it doesn't get rained on too heavily for too long. Good God, that water's cold. Oh, my feet are like little icicles now. All right. So, if you click the link that I made for the website drangermike.com, you'll see that it asks if you're 18 or older. That is because where I set up accounts to post videos is for 18 plus only. On top of, I have YouTube, I have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I have Patreon, I have OF, and I have PH. So those two are for adults only. But I'm not actually posting sexual or inappropriate things on there. It's just another platform to post content, and it turns out that both of those platforms welcome wholesome content. So consider me a daisy in a field of shit, if you will. Now, perhaps I might release a couple of more adult things eventually, but it will be restricted to those places. And I'm going to make sure to keep Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, what else? Patreon. No, Patreon might be a little spicy too. I'll try and keep those, people friendly. So, check out that link, drangermike.com. You'll get an idea of kind of what I'm doing. I bought a new computer, and I'm waiting for it to get here. So once you actually see this full video out on YouTube or wherever you see it, that means that I've gotten the computer and have been able to edit videos with it, because my current computer can barely open the editing software, which is a bit of a bummer, but whatever. So, if you could like, follow, subscribe, share, whatever, the support would mean the world to me. I almost fell again, right on my patootie. That's one thing about walking downhill with my toes pointed forward. You slide, your feet become sleds. Or skis or whatever. So yeah, please, camera, any support helps. And for the time being, it's all really just going to go towards upgrading my equipment and content so that I can deliver the best value possible. Because tying back into Dranger, or Dranger, however it's pronounced, honest, improving, humble, whatever those values. I want to make sure that I'm adding good value to people who can enjoy it and make something of it. And perhaps if you're thinking about a hobby or passion that you have right now that you for some reason haven't gotten started, perhaps you feel like it's not possible to succeed in that thing, or you don't have enough time, let me assure you that even though you don't have all the time you would like to have, or that time is very minimal, there is almost always a way to do a little bit of that thing. If you have a hobby for photography, this could even mean just taking a few pictures with your cell phone once a week, opening them up, putting filters on them, posting them on something like Shutterstock or what have you. I don't know how all that's done, but there's something. There's a little thing. And if you can't do that thing at all, you can learn about how to do that thing when the time comes that it's right to do it. See, blacksmithing is my main passion. I love it. I'm wiping the lens again. Something about hammering hot steel, making something beautiful with impact from different shaped objects, hitting on a very hot piece of metal. It's very empowering, you say, because you can take a chunk of raw material and bash it into something beautiful. So this kind of passion started for me probably sometime early in high school, maybe junior high school, I guess. And I lived in a place we didn't have really any money or space or resources to do blacksmithing. I didn't have a shop or any tools or a place to even put a lot of tools. So what I did was I watched YouTube videos, tons and tons of YouTube videos. Everything from Chandler Dickinson to Alex Steele, Will Stelter, all of these smiths. Black Bear Forge, what else? Purgatory Ironworks, Christ-Centered Ironworks, God bless you, Roy. And channels like these have all kinds of content that's very educational in the realm of blacksmithing, knife making. Terrell Knife Works is another one. So, Pirate Forge, all of these people, DG Blades, and watched a lot of their videos. I subscribed to their channels. Before I could afford YouTube Premium, I watched ads and did my part in supporting those people and their creation. And in return, I learned a great deal. And I even asked questions in comment sections and what have you. And they took the time and answered a lot of my questions. Taught me a great number of things. Little tips and tricks here, safety things. So that when I was ready, when I got a forge, or I made a forge out of a satellite dish, I found out where could I buy coal? Well, I found that out from a horseshoer, a farrier supply store. So I started buying coal. And I built that little forge. And the first time I struck hot steel, I had already had a little bit of a foundation. So that some of my learning curve was cut short, and I didn't have to fail as many times between making beautiful things. And I can tell you right now, it was and will continue to be 100% worth it. So this can apply to anything. If you want to get into bodybuilding, let's say, but you don't have a gym membership, you can start with things like push-ups and sit-ups and all that. If you're not physically disabled, there's nothing limiting you for that. And let's say you are physically disabled. Let's say, for example, that you can't move your legs. You can still build up amazing arms without the use of your legs. And that is bodybuilding. You can chase your dream, and even though it might not be immediately the full version of what you had hoped it would be, you know, you're on that path, and you'll find that you get from it far more than you thought you would. Ooh, my legs are starting to shake. Oh, it feels like squat day. So, baby steps are okay. You're not doing yourself a disservice by taking your time. You would be doing yourself a disservice by not doing anything at all. So, it's very important to remember. The question is not, can I do this? The question is, how can I do this? And if you are in a situation where I can't do this comes into mind, add one more word for me, for you. I can't do this yet. And what this does in your brain is it allows you a little time. I keep looking behind me because it sounds like footsteps or sticks breaking. So I'm wearing a backpack with all my GoPro gear in it. If I get jumped on by a cougar, I'm gonna bust my ass. But hopefully the claws or teeth grab my backpack. Eat my GoPro, cougar, not my neck. If I am rushed by a bear, I'm kinda screwed. So that'll be a knife fight to the death, and it probably won't be the bear's death. It'll probably be mine. Hopefully you get to see it. Anyway, if you have a dream, you have to chase that dream, because we don't live forever. We don't know how long we have. We don't know what's going to happen. It may change everything. Look at someone like, let's see. Look at someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger. All the controversy aside, I don't care about that. He should have been, as Bill Burr says it, he should have been unloading trucks in Transylvania. But instead, he had a dream. He wanted to get famous for lifting weights, so that's what he did. He moved to America, a country whose language he could barely pronounce any of the words for. You can't understand him half the time now, anyway. And he got famous for lifting weights. And he's legend for bodybuilders, strongmen, athletes all around the world. multi-millionaire. And then he thought, you know what? Enough of this bodybuilding. I'm tired of winning Mr. Olympia. I'm going to go star in movies. Even though no one can understand what the fuck I'm saying. He does it. And there he is, dozens or hundreds of millions of dollars later. And he thinks, man, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to marry a Kennedy. So he does that. This is all credit to Bill Burr. And then he runs for office in a state he can't pronounce. And he wins. Right? And all of this started with, he had a dream to do something. And he just did it. He took a risk. He built up his body. And it paid off immensely. And the world will never be the same. Because there are so many now bodybuilding federations, brands, companies, hobbies, sports around because of Mr. Schwarzenegger. Now, this doesn't guarantee, obviously, that your success is going to be as phenomenal as his was. Obviously, Schwarzenegger is an outlier. But I think, aside from amazing genetics, his character was that of an outlier as well. So, this is what I'm doing. Is I'm taking a risk. Because what else am I going to do? Am I just going to go to work and go home, go to sleep, go to work, go home, go to sleep over and over and over again until death comes to take me? No. I am going to take a risk. I'm going to take safety risks. I'm going to take financial risks. I'm risking my time. I'm risking my reputation. Everything. Little by little. Making content. Like hikes like this. Madman rambling in the woods. By himself. With a camera stuck to his chest. Tell me if you can hear this. You hear that? So, it's important to take risks. It's important to accept and love yourself for who you are without accepting that you will be in that position forever. You can get better. You can get worse. The choice is yours. As the Mad Queen, or whatever she's called in Alice in Wonderland, says, in my world, you have to run as fast as you can just to stay in the same place. This is relevant to just about everyone. Let's take a little pause here. Alrighty. That little pause was me changing the battery. The battery for the GoPro Hero 11 lasts about, I'd say, up to an hour if you're lucky. So I had to swap out batteries, and then we're good to go for another hour, which isn't going to be that long because we are at the end of our trip almost. So, did perhaps lose my train of thought. Isn't it nice out here? Look at this. Just stare down that path for a moment. We're following the same path of the water. At least this little stream, which makes it, in some way, one of the paths of least resistance. Right. So, if you've made it this far, I want to thank you for watching, for listening, perhaps, if you didn't mute it already. And leave one final message for this video. Ask yourself, what's one thing that I'm doing that I know that I shouldn't be doing, that I could stop, that I would stop, such that my life would become a little better or easier. So you gotta sit down at the edge of your bed and ask yourself this. What stupid thing am I doing that's holding me back? It could be anything. It could be something as small as putting too much sugar in your coffee. Whatever it is, take a deep look at that and think, if I could stop doing this thing, perhaps I could improve my life by even just 1%. And then, every week, once you're done stopping doing that stupid thing, sit down at the edge of your bed and think about the next stupid thing that you could stop doing, that you would stop doing, such that if you did stop, your life would get better. And perhaps that thing could improve your life by another 1%. And this sounds somewhat minimal, too simplistic, perhaps ineffectual. 1%. What is 1% going to do? If you can manage a 1% improvement in your life every week for a year, that's 52%. Your life could be 52% better. In 2 years, your life could be 100% different. So this hiking and these videos, this is my 1%. I was wasting time. And even though this hiking isn't financially productive necessarily, perhaps it could be, if enough people watch my videos and I get monetized or whatever. But the percent improvement that I get is the enjoyment of my time off. I have pretty much lifted my depression. Maybe I get an occasional case of the Wednesdays or in the Mondays or whatever they call it. But I can honestly say it makes me feel so much better. You know, because I can come out here and hike. I don't even have to bring a camera. And I can just ramble to myself. And what happens is a thought will come out of me and then I'll hear it. When I hear that thought, I can then assess the validity of it. Where will this thought take me? Well, I'm walking alone in the woods. It could take me anywhere. And we have plenty of time, at least out here. Look at this. It's like a walking stick already ready to go. It's kind of nice. It's probably really fragile, but it doesn't seem super bad. That's cool. I like my walking stick better, though. What do you think? I carved this myself. And there's like magic crystals in there. It's very strong. Ipe wood, purple leather handle. Very cool. I like it. It's bone. It smells like sweet death. So, yeah, your life could be 100% different in the course of 2 years if you treat yourself well, as Jordan Peterson says, which is where this knowledge came from. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. I just zoned out for a second. You see, since I'm recording, I may have had a tendency to stress out about things like that. You know, why can't you speak clearly and continuously about the same idea until you're done with it? Come on, Mike. Don't leave people on cliffhangers and forget thoughts. Put some effort in. But out here in the woods, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So, do me a favor and do you a favor. Stop wasting time that you do have. Any free time that you do have, don't waste it feeling sorry for yourself. Instead, go out and do something. And if you have a bunch of kids at home, just play with your kids and get lost in the little games you play with them. Wrestle with them, roughhouse them a little bit. Have a good time. You know, who cares if you accidentally scratch or break a piece of furniture? If somebody scrapes their knee, that's life. But that's how memories are created. And if we go too long wasting time being depressed and doing nothing and feeling sorry for ourselves, we don't make any memories. And the brain spirals down and down and down. And that's no good for anybody. And if you have severe clinical depression, talk to a psychologist, talk to a psychiatrist, talk to somebody who's an expert on something like that. And perhaps you'll find that if you need to take antidepressants, give it a shot. You know, just say, hey, I'll give this 3 months. And who knows, you might feel better, you might not, but at least you'll know. Don't waste any more time. We don't live forever. Thank you for coming along this with me. It has been a pleasure. Goodbye.